911.
Yeah, I'm on State Street, coming up to 18th. There's a car behind me that keeps flashing its lights. It's been following me, time by time for about, 4 blocks.
And the car kept following me, flashing its lights. It would act like it was going to go around me, and then it would back off, honking its horn. It was just really strange. It didn't feel right. So when I was on the phone with 911, I told them I was just going to head towards the police station in hopes that either one, they would stop following me, or at that point the cops would be there. So I kept making different turns to see if they would follow me on my way to the police station, and the car always came behind me. At one point it sped up and got in front of me.
Someone's deciding they're gonna come around me, and they just keep flashing their lights, and now they are going around me.
And then it slammed on its brakes. At that point I wasn't sure what was gonna happen, if they were gonna get out. I had nowhere to turn at that point. They had kind of done it where I didn't have an outlet. Either way, I would have had to back out or go forward. Nobody got out of the vehicle. They ended up, they made a turn real quick, and then I went past. They turned around and came right back behind me again. I was coming up to a light. It's at 8th and Main in Quincy, where a police station is, and it was a red light, and I had to stop. The car came up to my side, and I looked over. It was a male, heavyset, glasses, hat, looked me right in the eye, no expression, and drove off. So they were able to locate the car. It was registered to a woman. It was definitely a man in the vehicle, so I told them, it was not her. It would have had a boyfriend or husband or something. So they gave me her name and said that they had contacted her. She had not gone back to them yet. From that point, I got on Facebook and looked her up. I couldn't see, her profile was private, so I couldn't see any of her pictures. So I had a mutual friend from work, so I called her and asked her if she could screenshot photos of this woman's boyfriend, fiance, whoever, and send it to me. And she did, with a name, and sure enough, that was the man that I saw in the car. Issued the guy his ticket. He said that it wasn't him. He was out with a friend, who his friend was drunk in the car, and they were just driving around. They never followed anyone, which obviously is a lie, because I didn't make up a 911 call nor pull his plate number and car out of a hat in his description. But nevertheless, he said that he didn't do it, and there was another man in the car. So it's kind of strange all around. Either part of the story is true, and there was a second man in the vehicle that maybe ducked when they saw my face, which is even creepier, that instead of one man, there were 2 men in a vehicle trying to run me down, get me to pull over, and get me to stop and get in my vehicle, or it was just this man by himself. Either way, it's very creepy. He followed me too long to be a joke. He would have to have a really, really sick sense of humor. So I'm not really sure what his intentions were, if I had pulled into my house where my daughter and my husband were, or if I wouldn't have went towards the police station. I'm not really sure what the end result of that would have been, but luckily I didn't do that, and I went towards the police station. So I'm just gonna kind of recount that. They did give him the ticket. That's pretty much all that they can do. The cops have been super, super nice. So this is where I stopped. There's really nobody to blame except for this asshole that decided, here's a opportunity, here's a female alone in her vehicle, so he probably is a sick fucking predator who thought opportunity. I don't even know. I don't even want to think about what his intentions were. Was he alone? Was he with somebody? Was rape what he had in mind? Was just scaring me? Was he gonna rob me? Or I don't even know. I would like to say that it was just some
you know, like, I'm sure he, even if he had to finally admit that he did it, would just say, oh, it was just a joke. But that's a really fucking long time to follow somebody in a really aggressive way. To follow a female alone for a joke. So even if in his mind that's a joke, he's sick. And I would hate to see, he had his fiance's car. So apparently he doesn't have his own car. And apparently I would hate to know, I feel sorry for her. Because her fiance chases women around in their vehicles at 2:30 in the morning and then lies about it. So, you know, I'm obviously angry, I'm scared, I'm pissed, but at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do about it. The cops have been very, very nice, and they did go back and listen to the 911 tape when I asked them to, because I knew that, I was pretty sure that I got the plate right, because it's like slow motion. I can remember looking at the plate number and saying it and making sure, like, don't mess this up. This might be the only thing that you have. Like, don't screw it up. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just, I felt really vulnerable and just really, as a female, I always feel like I'm like, oh, women have this power and women are strong and you should, if you want something, you should do it. And then here I am in this situation and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't, even if he would have done something. I had nothing in my vehicle to protect me. And I think it makes me angry that there are people who will not only do that, but people who can make me feel like I didn't have control and I didn't have a way to protect myself. But that won't happen again, because I am going to get a gun and I will carry it in my vehicle. And next time, it would still be just as scary, but next time I will know that if I need to protect myself or my family or my daughter, that I can't. But seriously, women, keep pepper spray, keep a bat, keep something in your vehicle, because when you are in that situation where you don't know what's gonna happen and you might need to protect yourself and you can't, it's a really shitty feeling. And I'm so glad that my daughter was not in the vehicle. My husband obviously could whoop some ass, and he is probably better than having a gun in my vehicle, but he wasn't with me. Just, this is a good way for me to open my eyes and realize I need a way to protect myself. But I'm a small chick and this guy wasn't small, and a bullet would stop him. So there's that.
Good firm grip, honey.
I'm gonna have to two-hand it, Grandpa.
Okay, two-hand it now.
Okay, safety off.
Push
right?
it down. Don't your finger off the trigger.
It's not on the trigger.
Okay. Now you get a grip, but now this slide will come back. So don't get your hand too high here, because this slide will, now don't just get it by the knob either now. There you go.
Okay.
Just get a good grip.
Okay, I got a grip.
This is safe.
Okay.
Okay. Don't shoot.
Don't shoot at us.
Okay. Now you put your finger on the trigger and just very gently squeeze it. Now you kind of just, now put the front sight in the V-notch in the back and pretend you're going to shoot a target. Go right ahead. Watch out, you're still ready to go again. Go ahead if you want to.
There's a deer out there.
Well, I'll be goddamn.
He didn't even run.
Shoot him.
I can't shoot him from here, Grandpa.
Honey, it won't, no. You just take aim. That's less recoil, Kaylee.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Now see, that's a lot
Now I'll
less.
just be ready to go
ready
again.
to go again.
That's scary.